Welcome back, everyone. Okay, today we are breaking down something, well, completely fascinating. We're actually diving into a source that was designed to quite literally put you to sleep. But hey, don't worry, I promise this explainer won't do the same. It's a relaxed state English learning audio, and we're going to transform it into a highly dynamic, high-energy guide. Our source material is packed with 9 real-world conversations and vocab reviews, all designed to just kind of be absorbed while you rest. But instead of dozing off, we're going to extract the absolute best takeaways and build a highly structured, thematic survival guide for everyday English. So grab a coffee, get focused, and let's decode the patterns of fluent conversation together.
Now you might be wondering, what's the hook here? Well, our source material operates on a very specific and honestly, deeply interesting core premise. Can you actually learn a language while you rest? The audio is completely designed to bypass those stressed, active concentration parts of your mind, and instead, it just feeds language directly to your brain through calm repetition and passive listening. The argument is basically that the mind is always absorbing, even in our quietest moments. But what exactly is it feeding your brain?
Okay, let's take a quick look at the agenda. We've taken the source's 9 conversations and reorganized them into a super clear structure for us. 1. The relaxed learning method. 2. Pillar 1. Everyday transactions. 3. Pillar 2. Social connections. 4. Pillar 3. Navigating life. 5. Versatile vocabulary and phrasing. And finally, 6. The mindset for fluency.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the relaxed learning method. So the philosophy here is really pretty wild. The source explicitly states that you do not need to stay awake, and you definitely don't need to take notes. Instead, it relies on this concept that learning just happens naturally through listening. By providing calm, steady repetition of everyday moments, things like shopping or asking for directions, the goal is to let your brain's natural resting state effortlessly absorb the context of the words. It's basically an entirely stress-free approach to retention.
Moving on to Section 2, Pillar 1, Everyday Transactions.
And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute foundation of daily life in an English-speaking environment. The source actually walks us through a supermarket where we hear Sarah and Mike trying to figure out the checkout line. Then it takes us to a restaurant where the very first hurdle is simply answering, "Do you have a reservation?" After that, we're clothes shopping, asking, "Can I try it on?" and checking out a gym where asking about membership options completely dictates your routine. It's crazy because mastering just these few transactional phrases wields massive power. It literally unlocks your ability to comfortably navigate all these commercial spaces. Let's zoom in on that cafe scenario for a second. Imagine you're ordering a cappuccino and maybe a warmed-up blueberry muffin at a local spot. The entire logistical outcome of that interaction hinges on a tiny, opposing set of phrases from the barista. For here means you're planning to sit by the window, relax, and soak in the atmosphere. To go means you are grabbing that bag and walking right out the door. It's amazing how just 2 syllables dictate the entirety of your transaction.
All right, Section 3. Pillar 2, Social Connections.
Now, obviously, buying a muffin or signing up for gym is great and all, but life is really about people, right? So the source transitions into teaching us how to build relationships using polite, collaborative phrasing. For instance, if you're trying to set up a picnic at the park, you don't just start with a rigid demand. Instead, the conversation starts with, "What did you have in mind?" which is just an incredibly polite, welcoming way to invite an idea. And later, when 2 friends are discussing taking up new hobbies, like a photography club or guitar lessons, the phrase, "I've always wanted to learn," acts as this perfect, natural conversational bridge to share your goals. Ultimately, all these social interactions lead us to one specific golden phrase, hang out. In that conversation about photography and guitar playing, the 2 friends literally wrap it up by saying, "We should hang out more often." This phrasal verb is basically the absolute pinnacle of Pillar 2. It just means spending time together in a casual, low-stress kind of way. It is the definitive linguistic finish line of a successful social interaction. Okay, moving right along to Section 4, Pillar 3, Navigating Life. Let's look at how these phrases actually build a mental map of a city. In the source, there's this great conversation where a tourist is lost and trying to find the main train station. And notice how the local breaks the advice down step by step. First, go straight down the street. Then, turn right at the bank. Next, walk 3 blocks. And finally, they give a clear visual marker, across the plaza with the fountain. By mastering these specific directional building blocks, you can navigate practically any grid system in the world. It's a real game changer. But
You know, navigating life isn't just about geography, is it? It's also about managing time and urgency. In the doctor's office scenario, a patient named Jennifer calls in with a pretty bad cough. When the receptionist asks when she's free, Jennifer drops this incredibly crucial phrase, "the sooner the better." This is brilliant because it implies urgency without sounding rude at all. It perfectly communicates that seeing the doctor is a high priority, and it immediately secures her a spot for the very next day.
That brings us to Section 5, Versatile Vocabulary and Phrasing.
All right, time for a little fast-paced pattern recognition. We're going to extract some incredibly versatile vocabulary that basically acts as the glue across all these different situations. Let's take the word casual. In the source, the shopper specifically asks for a jacket that's casual for everyday wear. But remember our social pillar from a minute ago? Hang out is defined as a casual, relaxed way to spend time. See the link? This one single word crosses over brilliantly between describing a physical item, like a piece of clothing, and an abstract concept, like the vibe of a social gathering.
Next up, we have the word facility. The source uses this during the gym conversation when a customer asks to tour the facility to check out the pool and the weight room. But honestly, this is a supreme utility word. Think about it. A hospital is a medical facility. A train station is a transport facility. Grasping this one broad definition unlocks a really high-level professional way to refer to almost any functional building you might encounter.
And our final versatile word for this section is beginner. The source highlights this during that hobby conversation we talked about, where the guitar player admits, "I'm still a beginner." But again, it's all about pattern recognition. Whether you're trying out a brand new yoga class at that gym facility or learning how to cook a simple tomato sauce from the supermarket, identifying yourself right away as a beginner perfectly sets expectations and immediately opens the door for people to help you.
Finally, Section 6, the mindset for fluency.
As the audio winds down, it offers this really calming, truly empowering philosophy on language retention. It says, English is not difficult. It flows like water. It's just sounds that carry meaning, feelings, and connection. I love that. It totally strips away the intimidation factor of stuffy textbooks and stressful exams, and instead, it reframes language as this natural, fluid form of human connection.
To really lock this in, the source actually ends the entire session by embedding positive affirmations directly into the listener's resting mind. It uses statements like, "I communicate clearly and confidently, and English words come to me easily." The whole methodology rests on the idea that overnight, your brain is actively strengthening these connections. So the next day, those responses, whether you're at the cafe, the doctor's office, or just hanging out at the park, they're going to come automatically. It literally builds the learner's confidence before they even open their eyes in the morning. How cool is that?
So, we've extracted the absolute best frameworks from this relaxed learning audio, covering everything from grabbing a coffee and navigating social hangouts to vital life directions and some truly empowering fluency affirmations. You now have the exact thematic survival skills you need to tackle these daily interactions head-on. So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Armed with these precise phrases and this brand new confident mindset, which real-world scenario are you ready to master next? Keep learning, keep spotting those conversational patterns, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.